I'm your host, Davida Shinsky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits, Reach Personal Success on a Daily Basis. And we discuss different topics on this show about personal development, psychology, mental health, and anything that affects you and keeps you from reaching your personal goals and having success at anything you choose to do. And today we're going to be talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And the reason that we want to talk about this is very simple because we all have needs, but also how you relate to those needs, how you affect them, have been talked about for centuries. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, does it affect your personal development? We all have needs. We might voice these in our relationships in an effort for our needs to be met and for others to understand us. But at the end of the day, we actually all have very similar needs that we need to be fulfilled. While humans are complex creatures, when we break it down, we are really quite simple too. Hierarchy's Maslow of needs outlines the innate levels of needs that all humans tend to require. When one level is met, we move up to the next level of needs. These needs are based on human motivation. For instance, the first level of needs involves what is required for basic survival. In other words, we are motivated to fulfill these needs to survive, and these needs have to be met before we can start searching for safety, love, and more. So let's dig a bit deeper. What should you know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs? How can knowing what these needs involve propel your personal development journey forward and help you find fulfillment and happiness? What is Maslow's hierarchy needs of meaning? Hierarchy of needs works as a pyramid, with the first level being at the bottom. As mentioned above, each level of the pyramid must be fulfilled before moving on to the next level. So let's break that down a bit. The first level is your physiological needs, your basic needs that you have in order to survive. The second level is safety, and that's that financial needs, health, whatever. Then the third level is love and belonging. We all are social people. We all need to be able to interact with others. The fourth level is esteem, and that's how you feel about yourself. The final level is self actualization. And in self actualization, that's you being the complete person that you truly want to be and being able to interact with others in a healthy way. The deficiency needs. These needs encompass the first two levels of the pyramid. It includes your basic physiological needs for survival, like food, shelter, clothing, sex, and sleep, and needs around safety and security, such as health, family, property, and freedom from danger. If these needs aren't met, we are going to be preoccupied with filling them. We won't be able to move past the first level without food, shelter, clothing, or sleep, and we won't be able to move past the second level without feelings of security and safety. However, once these needs are met, we can start to foster and nurture growth needs. It's important to note here that deficiency needs refers to behaviors that are a means to an end. The motivation for these needs also increases the longer a person goes without them. For instance, you'll become hungrier the longer you go without food. When the need is no longer deficient, a person may begin to fulfill growth needs and move up from there. The growth needs. Growth needs begin to move past our physiological needs and include more psychological needs, such as love and belonging, which may include friendships, family, intimacy, and a sense of connection and self esteem, which may include confidence, achievement, and respect of others. Through these pathways, we look for self actualization. Self actualize is when our potential is realized and all our needs are met. But before we can get there, our growth needs must be met. These are motivated by our own desire to grow. Usually, this type of progress is hindered by a lack of needs below it being met. In fact, many people actually move back and forth through all the different levels of needs before achieving self actualization, or some sadly will never get there, but it is possible. And the relationships we have as children with our parents and our family and how they treat us really affect how well we get up to the highest level. Because if something is missing there and we don't know how to get it, what happens? Then you, as the individual, look for something and in a way to meet those needs. Self actualization. This is at the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid. It's where creativity, morality, spontaneity, acceptance, purpose, meaning, and inner potential all occur, but they will only occur when the growth needs and deficient needs are met first. The levels are also not super rigid. There are instances where people have broken this mold. Thus, needs truly are based on individual circumstances and differences. At the same time, most tend to follow the general motivational pathways. How is Maslow's hierarchy of needs used today? Today, this model is often used by psychologists to help understand their clients better, such as their desires, their motivations, their goals, their experiences, and anything else. It can further empower individuals to get their needs met and understand the steps they may need to take and achieve their full potential or desires. If your health is declining due to a lack of exercise, this often needs to focus before you can achieve self actualization and demonstrate the full extent to your skills or abilities. We again, there is an argument for the hierarchy of needs, not following a linear pathway. In fact, many experts argue that this theory is difficult to test, but many more also argue that it can offer a guideline for understanding, especially when an individual is struggling. So, how can you use Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Well, many of us are privileged to have our basic survival needs met. However, many struggle with the two levels, love and belonging, and self esteem. And this is where, when you're being abused verbally and emotionally, it can truly affect your self esteem. Getting past these is often difficult for many, especially with technology and social media almost fostering comparisons between individuals. At the same time, identifying what needs work and can help you eventually achieve your full potential. For instance, maybe your confidence needs work, and this is leading to issues in your career and personal life. Or perhaps you need to leave that toxic relationship in order to find that sense of belonging somewhere else. There are various and countless situations where identification of your needs can lead to changes that will make your life that much better. At the same time, maybe your confidence is impacting your ability to look after your health. Again, this hierarchy includes differing pathways and isn't always linear. These needs can interact with one another and produce various consequences. The best thing that you can do is examine the pyramid and understand where you might be lacking. From there, you can determine the best way that you can fulfill your own needs to get where you want and need to be. So it's not always easy, but it's entirely possible. Using this model, we can begin to understand how to do so and what we might be missing on our journey towards self actualization. What needs are you missing? Often we don't realize the importance of how we relate to what's going on in our lives and just how what happens to us early on as young children affect who we are as adults. Because what happens is, if you don't feel love as a child and you're being abused, what happens? You become an abuser because that's all you know and you think that's okay. And the sad part is, we choose unhealthy relationships where we continually being abused because that's the comfort zone that we have accepted for ourselves. And the idea here is to learn how to change that so that we can begin to reach the highest level of self actualization.